Hello and welcome to Billy's Craft Room. In today's film I'll be showing how to make Grungeboard bracelets. These were created using Tim Holtz's Grungeboard. The one I'm using has an embossed pattern, but you can also get the board without any patterning on it at all. They were painted using golden fluid acrylic paints. The bracelet I'm going to show you how to create in today's film is this one. For this project I'll be using crocodiles, hole punch and corner rounders. Ranger's archival ink in jet black and a text-based stamp. The paint I'm using is Golden's fluid acrylic. The colours I'm using are diazonine purple and interference gold fine. I'm working on a tin plate as a palette, and I'll be applying the paint using a flat paintbrush and a scrap of car sponge. This is Grungeboard, available from Ranger, made by Tim Holtz. This is an embossed one, but it's also available as a plain sheet. Take your sheet of Grungeboard and cut it into strips. You can get 4 bracelets out of a single sheet of Grungeboard. I'm going to use a crocodile corner rounder to create a curve on the end of the bracelet. Open the guide bars on the side of the tool and select the 1/2 inch diameter curve. With the embossed pattern at the top, place your bracelet into the tool and punch to create a curve. Repeat this on the other side. As you can see, that's left a nice curve on the end of the bracelet. I'm now going to apply some interference gold fine to the palette. I want a reasonable amount of this, as it's difficult to mix the exact same colour each time, and I want to be able to complete a bracelet with one mix. On a separate area of the palette, I'm going to apply some diazonine purple. Pick up a small amount of purple paint and mix this into the gold. It's actually easier to do this with a palette knife if you have one. Continue adding the darker colour into the lighter one until you have a shade that you like. I'm going to use a brush for the final mixing of the paint. Pick up some colour on your brush and apply it to the embossed side of the grunge board. That's the raised side of the pattern. I'm applying the paint to just one side of the grunge board. The acrylic paint does dry quite quickly, so to avoid stripes on your bracelet, do work reasonably quickly. You may need to work the paint into the embossed pattern, as the raised surface can make the paint skip out. Continue to apply the paint until you're happy that you've completely covered the surface. Once you're happy you have a complete coverage of paint, you can set it aside to dry or heat set it to speed the drying process. If you can't clean your brush immediately, do leave it in a pot of water. If you let the paint dry on your brush, it will ruin your brush. I'm going to use a heat tool to speed the drying of the paint. Don't be surprised if you see the grunge board flex and curve as you heat it. This is natural for grunge board, but it won't damage your bracelet. Do mind your fingers though, because the grunge board does heat up during this process. Once you're happy that the paint is dry, set it aside to cool, and I'll see you in part 2 to show you how to add some stamping to this project. For links to suppliers for the products used in this film, please visit my blog. If you've enjoyed this film or have any questions, do leave me a comment. Thanks for watching. See you soon. For more inspiration, please visit the blog on www.billiescraftroom.wordpress.com.